Hi, it's Wasabi, welcome back to the channel. Today's battle's on the Live Oaks map, and we've got Mage from NWA clan, one of our good friends, and he's in the Type 59, originally one of the best Tier 8 premium medium tanks. It's been superseded a little bit, but still a reasonably good tank to get a buff in the last couple of years to try and keep it competitive. And the issue was that when it first came out, it was the only Chinese tank in the game. But now, yes, of course, you've got Chinese medium tanks, so it's pretty useful as a crew trainer. It's also been really popular as a prize tank, and it's been available in a couple of times in some of the sales, etc. Alright, now, just missed the shot there on the ELC, but luckily the ELC's taken out. It's interesting, missed the shot on the Panther as well, but I think the Panther's slightly behind the hill. This is one thing you've got to be careful of. Finally he gets a shot on another tank and gets rid of the P43. So team's slightly up at the moment, and see how that goes. No one's gone into the city though, that's going to be a bit of a concern. The tank's on the rail line, the 9-0, moving a bit slowly. And most of the team are actually on that line, so this is going to be dangerous. It's got one heavy tank with him, but that's an IS-2 who is Tier 7. And this is a Tier 7, Tier 8 game, so the IS-2 is not going to be that effective if the main heavy tanks from the other side come through. So there's an IS-6B and a ML1. Anyway, he puts a blind shot in, but no one's spotted for the moment. Only one enemy tank now coming up on the 0 line there, but okay, now ML1 spotted going through the city, so unfortunately just missed the crossing there. No one seemed to have picked that up. Whether the ELC is spotting or not, I'm not sure, but that was a bit of a miss there. But now they know that there's at least one top tier heavy tank coming through the city. So Mage not giving up this position just yet. It's not reaping a lot of benefits, but okay, now he's got a Tier 7 tank and he's no problem going through that tank there. He's switched to APCR just basically to make himself ready for the ML1, and now we've got a Tiger 1, also Tier 7, and yeah, just angled enough to bounce even the premium shell there. Managed, however, to go through the KB3, and the Tiger 1 just gone dark now behind the camo, and just far enough back that he doesn't get spotted when he fires, but did bounce off Mage there. It's a bit of a bouncy turret, but on the Type 59, but it is a medium tank, so the armour is not that strong. In any case, just continuing to face off with these Tier 7 heavy tanks, but the ML1 not been spotted just yet, but that IS has come up again, and the tank's on the hill there, so he might get another shot at this Panther, who's now rear facing. And the tank just went dark as he fired, so a bit hard to tell whether that actually went through. So I think the dispersion on the Type 15 is not too bad. I think it's around about 0.33 to 0.35 depending on what you're running, but yeah, just not really picking up the Panther there, and it's just on the edge of his view range. So here we go, facing the rear again, managed to do some damage directly this time, so lucky. But you can see now the Panther is behind the hill. He's only highlighted the whole hull because the top part is visible, but that's what you've got to be careful of when there's terrain involved. If you're looking at the outline, just make sure you're shooting at the part of the outline that's actually exposed, and not what you think is the weak spot, because you might just be shooting into the ground or to a building or something like that. In any case, the game is still pretty even. They're one tank up and they're still a little bit behind in hit points, but nothing serious. But Mage not wanting to push around on this Tiger 1 because you know he'll be exposed to other guns there. Tiger 1's lost a bit of health. But if he continues to push around, then Mage will get shots into him. It's just seeing, doesn't really have good gun depression in the Type 59. I think it's about 6 or 7 degrees, so nothing special. It's pretty typical. And okay, he's taking the risk to come around on the Tiger 1, puts a shot into him, and the Tiger 1 gets taken out. Now he's done that because the ML1 is behind the garage there. He puts a shot into the IS and then takes the hit on his track. So far, not taking any actual direct damage. Yeah, he's just ticked over enough damage to cover his own hit points. It's always a good starting target. And now he can make a decision whether he... Okay, the ML1's made the decision for him and started to push around, so puts a hit into him, but Mage gets a hit in return. Type 59 has got reasonable DPM. It's just got just a small part of the KB3 there, so it's not a real target. But now he can afford to push in on the ML1. Goes for him, and the ML1 not coming out enough to actually get his gun on him, unless he's in the reload perhaps, or he'll be able to go through him if he gets a bit closer and gets down into the thing there. Now he's got SU-122s come around to help him, so puts one shot into him and then Mage gets the kill. So I've taken out one of the 2 heavy tanks, and now I can afford to push in on this KV3. Just use his mobility to get around him, because it does look like he's isolated and Mage can take advantage of that. Not spotted yet, but he will be shortly. Okay, he's now proxy spotted, but the KB3 not really picking that up. Turning his turret slowly, Mage will get another shot in before he can turn. And there he goes, one more shot, that KB3 is dead. And the KB3 just really not knowing what to do. And he gets the kill. So, 3 kills there to Mage. And his team now is still 1 tank up, but they are now slipping behind in hit points. And it looks like they've lost all the tanks on the 0 line, so Mage coming back to defend. And that's a pretty good decision there. If you've won your flank and you've won it all the way to the enemy cap, but the other flank's been lost, then you're going to lose more battles than you win by continuing on to cap. So coming back and defend while your own team caps out, it's definitely a strategy. Covering the cap area so that you can reset the enemy capping will really help there. So no one seems to have come back so far to try and cover the base there. Got a nice 2 sitting at the back there, possibly AFK. Now that's not going to be helpful, but there you go, Mage giving advice, saying let them come to us, not us pushing on them. Oh, that's really good advice. Now, Hellcat's already been taken out. Yak Panther went up on the tracks there to make that shot. No one seemed to have taken a shot on him. They're outside of Mage's view range, so he's not going to get a shot. Now another one, tanks got lost. So they're starting to go backwards here, so best if they pull back. And Cherry telling him, yeah, not inside your render range. Yeah, well, that's true, but you've got to find the best spots to defend from, not necessarily the ones that are within range of the enemy at the time. So still 5 minutes, or nearly 6 minutes to go. Where is the enemy? They're definitely all spotted on the 0 line, but are they coming down to cross the rail bridge? That's the question. And they'll know how many tanks there are left. They are running down the clock here, but it could be them moving down the 0 line. That's quite a possibility. If they'd been coming up through the city, they would have been spotted already by the M2Y that's there on the hill. So they're clearly not doing that, but the question is how many of them are coming down. So Mage knows he's got the cap area covered by that IS-2. Did the M2Y just lose some health there? That's a good question. I think he has lost some health, so it could be something in the swamp there. There's something in the swamp, it's probably the Progetto. And here we go, first target up, SU-122, 44. Mage gets one shot in, he'll get another shot in right about now. And gets the kill. Finally his accuracy, or lack of, is paying off. He's getting the right RNG, but you can see how big the circle was compared to the size of the target there. It was almost twice as big, so just trusting that the shell is going to fly through roughly the centre of the circle. Now the I-6B also spotted on the edge of the swamp there. He'll certainly outvision that tank there. Got the clock ticking down now, 3.5 minutes to go. Where are those tanks? So there's the I-6B, it's behind the building. Now Mage needs to make a decision, does he need to go forward and attack that tank? And the question is, it looks like he's made that decision. The question is there anyone there backing him up? But I'll find out pretty soon, I think. If he comes forward, he'll spot any tanks that are within view range typically. Again, using the same tactic he used on the KV3, come up from the rear. And where's he gone? Oh, here we go. He's got a nice side shot that gives him, oh, there's two tanks there, there's the Progetto. Now, Mage can afford to take a hit. Luckily, the Progetto fails in his first shot. The I-6B hits him. Mage goes for the Progetto, for the ram, gets the kill there. And he should get a shot into the I-6B, bounces off him and gets taken out by the M2Y, so good teamwork there. So that's got them in a good position, but the clock is ticking. So 5 kills there to Mage, and the IS-2 isn't AFK, so he's definitely okay. It was the IS-2 that was up with him before, so he wasn't AFK. Well, who knows, he was pretty stationary there for a while, but maybe that was his defensive position and he didn't see a need to move. So here we go, this is SU-100 M1. If you can catch him side on, that's the best time to shoot. The front of it is a bit hard, but Mage managed to go through and he'll get one more shot in there to him on the side actually. Oh, I'm not hit, that's gone into the tracks, which is unfortunate. The SU-100 got a pretty hard front and he manages to take out the M2Y. If they can get rid of the SU, then they just need to find the Yak Panther. So the SU still doesn't know Mage is coming. Well, he'll spot him pretty shortly. There he goes, front on. Bounces off the front and takes a hit, but now he'll get around him. He'll get some griefing damage in there and manage to get the kill. So that's the only problem there. Mage is now lit, so he goes backwards a little bit just to get away from vision range from the railway line where he knows the Yak Panther's last seen. And he's got to try and make a different angle, so he's got a couple of options here. The main one is to just run along the underside of the dip down into the swamp, which looks like is where he's going. So, yeah, 47 seconds to go. You're going to have to spot and shoot the Yak Panther. We've lost a few valuable seconds there, and we don't know how. Oh, we do know. 850 hit points left, so that's how many hit points they've got to get rid of. In fact, there he is. No, he's definitely not that. He must have just lost some health there, but the Yak Panther on 41 hit points, 22 seconds to go. They've got to get a line on him. Here we go. One shot in and he gets the kill. 17 seconds to go, and that's the win. So great play there from Mage, 7 kills. Okay, so we can see that at least one blight shot went in. He's ended up with 4.1k of damage there and the 7 kills. So that got him the top gun and also the high caliber award for the most damage. And along with that, the Ace Tanker Mastery Badge. So let's see how he compared to the team. He's finished well on top with experience, with 1600 base experience, and the next closest player was the Super Hellcat, who got snuffed out partway through the end game, and the M2Y nearly 3k, so good contributor there, but pretty much a carry there from Mage. Really engineered the win with the last movements in the game there. And on the enemy side, the I6B and possibly the Progetto that he was with him, both doing well over 2k, and quite possibly on the losing side with over 700 base experience. They would have got ace tanker badges as well, so congratulations to those players. Even the other Progetto that was with them, over 670. So yeah, good effort there by the enemy team, but they came up against Mage, and both his patience and his positioning really helped carry the game there. So what did it cost him? Well, not a whole lot. Fired a bit of premium ammunition, but basically dealing with heavy tanks, not surprising, but 34 shots fired, 26 hits, quite a few misses as we saw, 21 penetrations, but only 68k on ammunition and 6,000 on his own tank. No consumables cost. He was running small consumables, but he's probably done the right thing like most of us have done and buy them in the sales. So relatively small profit of 47k, but nonetheless always welcome. So thanks for the game, Mage. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing that. We'll have more great content to follow, and thanks very much for watching.